Hello, everybody. Whew. God, my hair looks a mess, don't it? Oh, my goodness. So, hey, there you go. Thanks. Are you still having a hard time? I just sent you a new link. Oh, Cheryl, thank you. I just sent you a new link. Hi, sister. In to your email, Lisa. Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Link. Hi, sister.
There we go.
There you are. You got it. Say something.
Okay, there we go.
There you are. Hi, Kim. How you doing? Can you hear me, Lisa?
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, that's okay. It'll get easier.
Yeah.
We'll wait for a few more people to come in.
Okay.
Oh, good, Emily. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Sister says hello. I'm glad, Emily, that you enjoyed it. I just got done doing a Christmas stream, Lisa. So that's why I look like I do. I had to take off my wig.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you. So, how do you send money when you don't have a PayPal? Green Eyes, I don't know. I have a PayPal down in, I mean, you can send me all the money you want. No, I'm just kidding you. I've got my PayPal, but I don't know how you would do that. Other than, I don't know how you would do it, sweetie. Good, sister. I'm glad. Donna, thank you. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to do it for the kids and for the shut-ins, and yeah, I'm. Oh yeah. Well, the kids, I hope got. Oh, Green Eyes, thank you. I have a PayPal down in my description. PayPal me. But I don't. That's how they do that. Green Eyes, that's wonderful. Thank you. What we just I don't know. I enjoyed it tonight. That little guy by the name of Blake, Blue Eyes son. Lisa, we had a young gentleman in here. I was calling out the kids' names and what they wanted for Christmas. Oh. And we had a young man. You don't have to have PayPal to send someone money on PayPal. You just go to their PayPal, and their PayPal will walk you through how to send them money. Oh, Claudette, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. There was a little gentleman in here by the name of Blake, and all he wanted for Christmas was to have his mother to be healthy. Oh. It just broke us up. Yeah, it just broke us up, and oh, I'm telling you. I hope that everybody enjoyed that stream. We're going to be doing it every year. So we're going to just make it, the three of us talked after the stream, and we're just going to make it a tradition. You know, I think it'd be great. We had almost 120 people in here, Lisa, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, and the kids
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, you love it. Yeah. The kids got their names called, and Santa wore his hat and his wig.
Oh.
That's right. So it was pretty good. it did me a lot of good because I had a really bad day. So
Oh,
it did me some really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So anyway, so okay, so Lisa, if you guys don't know, is a friend of mine from Texas.
woo.
Woohoo! And Lisa is a paranormal investigator. So that is what we're going to talk about tonight. And Lisa sent me a site for a teddy bear. That teddy bear that picks up voices. Is that what that was, Lisa?
Yes, it's really a neat little device that I've been seeing other investigators use where there's supposed to be children. The idea is to set it up and it's more playful and enjoyable for a child spirit to help show. Hi, Claudette. um, so yeah, we're really excited to try and get that one. And I kind of got excited because my son is ordering a new ghost box essentially off of the same site. They just put them on sale. So he's ordering it tomorrow for me. So I'm like super psyched. He told me like 15, 20 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh. Now what
So
kind is it?
it is a ghost box, but it's a new, let me see if I can pull it up on here real quick so I can kind of read the description. I can't even remember the name. I just remember it was a new type of ghost box that they got, and it was $19.99. But I tagged my son in it thinking he might enjoy it because I've got mine. I wasn't thinking to get another one, but that's going to be my Christmas present.
Right, right.
But that teddy bear is called a Boo Buddy. I've got it pulled up on my
Oh,
laptop.
buddy.
And it essentially, it talks to you. Like the spirit can talk to it or whatever, and it records.
Wow.
So it's kind of a neat little device. I'm really just hoping that it, when we do get it, it shows, because we do have a house where there is a child spirit in there. So we're really hoping that that will be one of those devices that will interact and make it more fun for the spirit, because what we have gotten from the place, and it's probably been about 6 months since we've been there, but we were invited back. Essentially, it's supposed to make it more fun for them. So I'm really hoping that it will help us get a little bit more evidence, if you will. But I can't find that new device that they just posted a little bit ago. But that Boo Bear is supposed to be a lot of fun. Go to Ghost Stop.
I saw
they've
that
got
link.
a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Now Shin Giggles just wants to know, it's an EVP recorder.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's kind of like that. I believe the description that I had seen for the Boo Bear has the USB, so you can just plug it right into your laptop for your little programs, so you can go through and I have a lot of paranormal equipment. Yeah, we're getting all sorts of neat gadgets this year, so I can't wait. Excuse me. But this Boo Bear, I just keep hearing all this stuff about it, so I'm really excited about this. But those, I've just got a cheap little digital recorder to help with the EVPs and stuff. We can do that. And we also do just a little video camera with the SD card in it. And that also picks up a lot of stuff too. So just pretty much any kind of recording device is a big help, regardless of what you use.
Right.
You don't have to go expensive. And I always tell people, don't go expensive, because just jumping in and spending $200-300 for a really neat looking one, it doesn't necessarily work.
Now,
that great.
my question is, Lisa, when you record or you
Mhm.
hear something on these EVPs, I have a hard time hearing them. Is that just training, or is there sometimes you can just really hear what's coming in?
There is programs, and I don't know what it is on my laptop, but you can pull down on the settings to this one thing, and I'm horrible with the technical aspect, but you can pull down on this one part and it blocks out the background, like if you have cars or something, and it makes it quieter so you can hear more of the sounds of people,
Right.
like the background noise. I don't know what it's called. I'll have to pull that out one day.
Claudette wants to know if you have any prior recordings that we could hear.
Let me see. I have some on my laptop. I have my son's laptop here in front of me. I don't know if he's got any. I'm looking right now. We're in the process of switching from my laptop to his.
Okay.
Mine's old, but it works.
Hey, everybody. Foxy, Katie, Sunny Girl, everybody, hello. Thank you for coming in earlier. Hey, Gary.
Did you get your picture of your recliner?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Yes, I did.
Good.
I haven't been able to put it up yet to where everybody can see it, though.
Yeah, I went through several to find that, and I still think it's really funny because if you really look into it, it's not like your typical orb. It's like a flash. So It was kind of neat.
Yeah, what she's talking about, everybody, is that audacity, is that what it's called, Shit and Giggles? Hi, Leanne. What she's talking about is right after my mother passed, she always sat in this recliner chair. And right after she passed, I went to take a picture of it, and you could see this orb and like my mother's face and figure in the chair. So yeah, it's pretty, and she found the picture and sent it to me. So I'll have to make sure I can download it on my phone and put it on my computer.
I will send you a link because I don't have anything on here, and we're fixing to make a new Facebook page to start putting on there because I do have one from the Holly Springs Cemetery out here in, let me think, that's over here by Ben Wheeler. What is that? Myrtle Springs?
Myrtle Springs,
no.
Yeah.
Martin's Mill, by Martin's Mill. Holly Springs Cemetery out there. I do have some really great videos, but it's on my laptop. And I talked about that last week with Mr. Hightower.
Right.
He was playing with a leaf, and I was able to put my hand up and communicate with him, and he was able to put the leaf in my hand when I asked him to.
Wow.
So it was a really great experience, but I have no way of putting it on here. But I'll give you a link when we get our page up, and you can maybe let everybody know.
Sure, and make sure that you, when you have your link, let me know, and we'll put it in, do some advertising for you, and everybody can go over there.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So what is the most, you talked about EVPs, and
yes.
What is the most defined that you've ever heard on yours?
I've had just small conversations with a few of them. I've actually got recordings from this Holly Springs Cemetery where my name was actually called out on the EVP, and I've got that on the video. I thought it was rather interesting because it wasn't just me that heard it, it was the entire group. So when we played back like multiple people without, oh, did you hear it say this? When we each listen, we each write down what we think it says, and then we compare, or we'll listen together, and if we can't settle on it, we try not to even say, okay, well, this is definite. We let people judge for themselves if they see it.
Right. Now, Miss Fucking Wonderful wants to know, so the Ghost Radar apps really work?
Okay, I'm kind of on the fence about those. There is an app that I have tried a few times. I'm kind of questionable on it because sometimes it has worked with some of my equipment and other times it hasn't. I don't believe they do. I think some of them are like that ghost radar is supposed to have like this big radar screen and it supposedly pinpoints where spirits are. I don't believe that one. And then they charge for it, which I think is just more of a make money type deal and for the people really wanting to find a spirit or something like that. I don't believe in those. No, I don't
Now,
think they work.
I do want to say something, guys, though. When Lisa got off of here last week, she sent me she'd been, while we were all on live, she was getting messages coming through. And so she wanted me to ask everybody, and I've got the picture of the paper right here. I don't know if it's
yeah. I got the paper too.
You've got it too. Why don't you go ahead and explain what happened?
At one point I had actually like kind of phased out, and my friend Lisa was on here also, and she was the only one that caught it, I guess, because she asked if I was okay. But I heard somebody named Ashton. I'm assuming that was the name his, because that name kept coming through. And I had so many words coming through, it was really hard to kind of focus, but I thought it was kind of odd when I shut my laptop down and shut the phone off, I didn't get any more, but I had like the word breaks, markers, heart, make it burn, and I kept seeing red roses everywhere in my head. So I don't know if anybody knows an Ashton that has passed or an Ashton that is in their family that maybe somebody knows, but I have the paper. I don't know if you can see it very well.
Right. Captain Buford said his niece's name is Ashton.
Oh, okay. Does she have anybody that maybe passed away in a car accident that was close to her? And had a significant with red roses. I don't know, I kept doodling all these weird things. I don't know what the markers mean. I don't know what I don't know. I just thought it was just very weird because you can't really tell. But if any of this makes sense, I'm more than willing to make a copy and mail it to you just so you can look at it and maybe figure it out.
Right. Lori D wants to know, are spirits considered ghosts?
Okay, this is just my opinion. Spirits and ghosts are the same. Just like in real life, you have your good and bad people, you have your good and bad spirits. They're no different than what they were when they were alive. But you also have your demons. I was just reading Captain Buford's thing. No car accident. Her grandmother passed, and her grandfather had a red rose bush outside her window. Oh, wow. Well, this might be, I don't know, something for you then. I'm not sure. If you're interested in it, I'll mail it to you. Or scan it and email it. Just let Katie know and I'll give it to you.
Shit and Giggles says, not sure who the lady is with Uber, but she does have a male spirit near her. Wow.
I probably have at least 3 male spirits at any given time. If you're referring to me, I kind of feel as if my dad, who passed away a few years ago, he was my stepdad, but he's my dad. I hear him frequently. He's always here with me. He's kind of my guardian angel.
Yeah. So do you feel him around you all the time, Katie? Or Lisa?
Yeah, I do. There's times where things are getting real, like I could get into a little situation where I'm starting to lose it a little bit, and I'll hear hear him off to the side whispering.
Right.
And we smell him. When we go into mom's house sometimes, I've smelled him just random places on the property. So yeah, I
Wow.
know he's here. I know he's here.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Randy, Stellar. So, did you guys go on that investigation you were going to go on?
No, we're actually going next week because we got some personal stuff that's been going on here. So we just yesterday got the all clear. So now we can start doing a little bit more and we don't have to worry about staying close to the home front. So
Right.
we're kind of excited.
Shits and giggles. Would you like to get on the panel? She says to you, she says, but this male is very warming and loving, and he sends hugs to you.
Mm-hmm. That would either be my dad or my grandpa or my biological, because both my dads have passed, and my grandpa. And I feel them constantly around me.
Oh. Kim C says, I would love to ask you about a couple of experiences that have had after the stream. So can you type in there somewhere she can get a hold of you?
Yes. Let me see here. I don't even know what
Miranda.
my Facebook is. Hold on. I forgot.
You're fine. Hi, Miranda. Glad you came in. Katie, you are so funny. Oh, my God. You are hilarious. Hi, Vintage. Is there a way that you can ask your loved one who has passed to come to you in your dreams?
Okay,
she does. Go ahead.
I've heard those questions before. I know some people really truly feel like they need to have that connection, and I always tell people if you're going to do it, do ask your loved ones to give you a sign or come to you in your dreams. Just remember, if they're at peace, they're better off. It's better for your comfort. Kind of, they've passed, so for your comfort, maybe just ask for a sign that they're okay. I don't always tell people to come in and tell them to come into your dreams or whatever. I just kind of feel once they've gone, they've made their peace, but we are the ones that bring them back because we need them.
Right.
So I kind of tell people, just ask for a sign, not necessarily come into your dreams or anything like that. Signs are much easier.
Exactly. So can you tell us about some of your experiences?
I'll tell you one because I actually brought her. Okay, before I show her, my mom and I were at this thrift store. Not a thrift store, but like an antique shop, like a roadside one here in Canton. And I kept hearing somebody say, come here, over here. And I thought it was my mom, and she was off to the back. I asked her if he called me, and she's like, no. So I asked her, again, are you sure you didn't call me? And she said, no. And I kept hearing something say, come here, come here. So I walked over, and they had this ledge that came out on the shelf. And I kept hearing something right here, right here. And I looked, and this little lady was basically calling me. She is made of wood. She's got burnt wax all over her arms, her face. At some point, these are original legs. There's straw. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh my gosh.
In her. And this little outfit she has on is not original to the doll. It was added later on, and by the material, we're guessing maybe the 20s or 30s. We have had some really good EVPs. I have not shared them on any of my posts or pages as of yet. We will. But there's no, I don't know if you can see, there's no markings. This was a handmade doll at some given point.
Wow.
And she has been through a fire. I don't know if you can see her little hands.
Mm-hmm.
She is just a very sweet spirit. I keep her in my room, and she is protected at all times. Uh, I have one son that won't come into my room because of the spirited items I keep.
Really?
He just does not get into any of this paranormal whatsoever. But this is one of this is just one of those attachments that I have that I just love her to pieces. She's got a good heart.
Wow.
And for some reason, like I heard her calling, like I was meant to bring her home, and I paid a little bit more than most people would have. Most people would have thrown her in the trash, and I brought her home.
Oh my God. You don't know how old she is or anything?
Just by the straw in her foot. And I've had some friends that are antique dealers. And then I don't know if you can see the stitching very well in her leg. The
Right.
legs were added at some point after the main part of the doll was made.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic was burnt over her. I don't know why. She's got no eyes. She's
Mm.
just one leg is shorter than the other.
Wow.
But she is very much a wonderful spirit. What we have gotten on EVPs, she was about 6, 7 years old, and that's the spirit attached to her.
Is how old?
6, 7 years old.
Oh, geez.
Attached to this, she is such a sweetheart. Um, I can't even explain like the attachment I have to her.
What's her name? Did you
Just
find out?
it's. Are you ready to laugh? We got Katie on
Oh,
this doll.
hello.
That was the name, and we do have it on a video. But
No kidding.
yes, and I've had her for maybe 4 years, maybe 5. She's just super sweet, and she likes to play little jokes. She'll move different positions and stuff. So we do have, this is one of the ones that we do video, and we do try and keep up
So have you got recordings
communication.
of her moving?
Yes, we have a couple of recordings that are very clear. We've got to figure out how to do a time span to make it shorter, because I'm not a tech geek very well. I
Right.
wish I was, but we have video over a several hour period where she has actually moved positions. There is nothing bad about her whatsoever. At Joyride said the doll sounds like a survivor. She really was. I just can't even say enough, and I will be putting video on when we get our next page up. She's just been through so much, and like I said, there's multiple errors on her. We've got the 20s, 30s,
Oh my
early
God.
1900s. We don't know when the wax was poured over her, because it's actual like candle wax. It's
Which could have
not.
been back in that era. You know, they used a lot of candles in that.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And even her torso, like I haven't took this off, but when you look down, her torso is actually like her legs. It was hand sewn, and it was stuffed with straw. So I don't know why her head and arms were wood, or why somebody would pour the candle wax over her, maybe to preserve. I'm not sure how that works.
right.
Um, but she is one of our spirited items, because one day I do hope to be able to get down near Austin and open a paranormal museum up one day.
Right. Well, now, not to be, nosy, but how much did you have to pay for her?
Shockingly, the lady had $20 on, or 25 on her. I literally only had a $20 bill on me, and I asked the lady, "Can you take 20?" She said yes, and I gave it to her, and I carefully took her out to the car and put her in a seatbelt and brought her home.
Wow. And I know that you collect all this paranormal stuff. So what else do you have?
Okay, these came from an investigation like, oh gosh, let me see. This was probably about 15 years ago I got these. This was in a house I did an investigation in. They're baby shoes from the early 1900s.
Can you hold them up there a little bit better?
Can you see them?
Early 1900s?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll try and do one. It's hard for me to hold two at the same time.
That's okay.
There we go. But that's one. It's got the ribbons. They were only wore one time.
Wow.
And the people, when we did the investigation, it was in an old farmhouse built in I want to say it was 1882. And it was family owned and passed down generation to generation. But the people that came in were like distant relatives, and these were in a box. Investigation, it was not a bad spirit. But these were in a box with the baby that had passed away.
Oh.
And these were only worn one time by the baby, and that was for the viewing. And there was an attachment to it. So when these were removed, there was no longer any of that energy or playfulness in their house. And I've had these ever since.
Oh, dear gum.
So nothing bad, no bad energies. I mean, they're just beautiful. They were bought just for the viewing and wore one time.
Wow.
According to them. I guess back then money was tight, so they tried to save maybe. I don't know.
Hang on just a minute, Lisa.
Children.
Cape Crusader.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. You will be blocked the next time I see you come in here and start any fucking shit. I don't give a hell who you are. You're blocked. You won't come in here and start shit with Katie or anybody else. You got me? Your ass is out of here. I won't put up with it. Want to come in here and start calling names to Katie? Bullshit. You're out of here. So start again, you son of a gun. Okay, I'm sorry, Lisa.
Oh, you're fine.
I just don't put up with that bullshit.
I don't blame you. I've missed a lot of comments, I'm sure.
Yeah, I won't put up with that. Him coming in here and starting trouble with MFW or anybody else.
But yeah, these were just something I've had for quite a few years, and just like I said, there's nothing bad attached to these. They just really, like, some of the stuff that I have has just been passed to me by people that feel there's an attachment. And if I have gotten readings, or even to take it off their hands to give it to somebody else, I have had a few pieces that had bad attachments that I passed on to somebody else that was able to store better than I can.
So my question is, when you store that stuff, you know that it's got energy and you bring it into your home.
Mm-hmm.
Does the energy still survive in your home then? And if it does, how can you encapsulate it so that it's not?
For the ones that seem to be, I give them free run of my house, as long as they harm none. And like, I kind of have this little thing that when I bring them in, I tell them, as long as you're not here to harm, you can roam. My son that lives in the house will not allow anything into his room, and he makes it clear. And I smudge frequently. In the smudging prayer that I do, I ask for everything bad, negative, evil to leave. So when I smudge, anything good can stay. On a few that I have questions about, I do have them in a type of containment with salt around it. We are paranormal. I burn sage and never give them permission. Yeah, a lot of people don't. I do have several child, so I really don't mind them coming through. I've got pictures in my house of them. So, well,
Well,
I don't know about that, AJ. I never
AJ,
thought about it, honestly.
AJ and Captain are little sissy girls. They love this stuff, but they cry all the time about it, freaking them out. It cracks me up. Cab 7, how are you? Thank you for coming in. It is creepy. It really is creepy.
Yeah, and I hear that from a lot of people. I don't know. Like I told you before, I'd much rather deal with the dead than the living a lot of times. So to me, they're family. If they're here, I don't care if they're it's, it's Randy's life.
Randy.
So to me, I don't fear them at all. I don't have a lot of fear on them.
Do you have any bad entities in your place that you've had to deal with or get rid of?
I have had okay, I will get on the subject. I hate this subject because it's so the people I've spoke with about it, like we all have our opinions, but I have had a couple of entities come in with objects that we did have to dispose of them, and I did have to have somebody else come in because while I can deal with a lot of things, I haven't had the experience. And I would really love to get the experience to deal with more harsh realities of the paranormal.
Well, what was it?
One of the kids that I took in over the years had brought in this doll. It was like a stuffed animal type deal, and there was no batteries in it, and it it just it would speak randomly and just it wasn't even legible. We did take it out of the house immediately. We smudged, gave it to another person in the paranormal that can deal with that stuff, and they
What did they
disposed
do
of
with
it.
it? They did.
I believe they burned it, but I won't swear by that.
Katie wants to know, Miss Fucking Wonderful wants to know, how do you dispose of spirits?
If it's a spirit willing to move on, I try and help them pass. If I know that they're wanting to pass and move on, a lot of spirits I truly believe are here for unfinished business. So if they are willing to move on, I kind of do a prayer. We kind of talk. I do have somebody that I trust. She does have the capabilities for a psychic, and she really truly is gifted, and she is not known to a lot of people, and she will come in and she is able to help also get them to pass.
Now
So it's basically just
we are paranormal. I'd like to get you on Shits and Giggles. I'd like to get you on the panel. I know you're shy, but I think you'd probably have some very wonderful insight too. But she said that you help them into the light.
how can I?
Or
Is that what it said?
She says you can help them into the light if they
Yes,
wish.
and that's one of the things I have helped many past. I truly, if they want to pass, I will help. I don't want any spirit here because to me it's almost like limbo. And if they are here and it's a different time than what they were in, I think that kind of hurts them a little bit because they don't know, nothing's familiar.
Right.
So I do try and help them pass. And if I'm not able, I do have somebody that I have come in, and she is amazing. She really is amazing. Um, Before you go into an investigation, what sort of protection do you use to keep from attachments? Miranda House Productions. I have a medicine bag with my protection. I have stones. I have just different things in the medicine bags. They're kind of personal to protect me. And we also go in with crystals. My son that does this with me, he does have a blessed crucifix that he wears. For me, it's my medicine bag. I have yet to have an attachment. Knock on wood, I never do. But I can say that there is, like, we smudge, we take the crystals and all of it. We pray when we go in, we pray when we go out. It's not like your typical, like, we don't pull out a Bible and pray, do a prayer out of the Bible. We have our own prayers for safety.
Kitty
Don't
wants to know how old your son is that goes with you.
He's 22. He's been going with me since he was 16, which I was kind of on the fence about, and I never really wanted him until he was a little bit older to go with me. But he's the one that has always been very much into the paranormal. My oldest son, he enjoys this stuff, but at the same time, he works some insane hours, so he doesn't go. My youngest wants no part of it, and my second oldest son, he only went on one investigation with me. His name came across the spirit box, and he looked at me, threw it on the bed, and left.
Yeah.
So he won't go with me anymore.
We aren't talking about witchcraft, Mama Bear. So.
Seeing a lot of people, that's one thing. We're in a small town, so not a lot of people. We started out as the Van Zandt County Paranormal here. We have since changed our names. We've investigated a lot here, but a lot of people in this area seem to believe that witchcraft and being interested in the paranormal are the same thing, and it's truly not.
Mm-mm. No. Well, you have some Native American in you.
Yes, I do.
Which, from what I understand from your past, has given you a lot of your insight, especially in some of the graves.
Yes. When I love going to the cemeteries. The cemeteries have some of the best history, and you really do, if you're open to it, you really do get some really great insight there. I don't know, just the cemetery seemed to be so much more open to people. You know, the spirits are there, and it's like you don't get a lot of visitors there anymore, especially the older graves, more historic ones. So they seem to be the ones that reach out. So that's one of the things. They have one of the older cemeteries that I actually was trying to take my husband to a few weeks ago. Sand Flats out near, like you're going to Athens, but it's between Athens and Eustis. Somebody bought the property and closed it, but one of the frontier families is buried there with their horses.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
It's a huge grave. Well, they've since locked the gates and you can't go through because it's private property. So that was kind of disappointing because that was really historical, and we would go out there and pick up the trash and pull weeds and stuff because we just love the historical aspect of that cemetery. And we also got some pretty interesting stuff.
Now, when it comes to a Native American burial and a area, and of course, then you compare that to our regular cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
What I know that there's a lot more activity. Is, say, for instance, if a home is built on top of a Native American burial site,
yes,
versus a regular one. Can you tell me why that is?
I'm not sure why, honestly. I do know that I know when you go to a Native American, for me, I guess it's more of a personal opinion. when you go to a Native American gravesite, it feels more blessed and peaceful. When you go to a cemetery, just a regular cemetery, I do feel a lot of peace in most of them, but you also feel the energy bad, because you do have bad people in some of the cemeteries, just like there's good people, like I was talking earlier, good and bad people. I feel some of the negative energies in those cemeteries, whereas the Native American ones, I've never, even going past them, I've never really gone in, because I feel like going into them is not respectful on those.
Right.
Only because it's blessed.
Right.
Private. So I don't know the rules for them. Whereas when we go to a regular cemetery, when we go in, we're very, very respectful. Even while we're investigating, if we see trash or a headstone knocked over, we put it back up.
I know that you guys have done that for a long time. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yes.
Captain says, I'm not trying to discredit this woman. I am just trying to tell y'all to be careful. Be careful. Yes. And then he says, Native Americans were part of everything, so they are part of Mother Earth.
Yes. And I do believe that it's a lot more peaceful there. Just going by, to me, I feel such positive energy passing by. Like the few I've been by, I've not gone in. The energy is so much different. I'm not sure how to explain that. I just know that they just seem more of a off the beaten path, like you're not supposed to be there type thing. You're just supposed to watch from a distance, is all I've ever felt there.
Right. Wow. Huh. And have you ever
I'm
done
trying to keep up with comments.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Have you ever done any kind of investigating on a okay, here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. I'll keep that one in mind, but what do the burial grounds, the Native American burial grounds, you see back in the Western movies where they're all buried up on pedestals, laying up on top. Yeah. What do they do now for them?
I know just from some of my friends that live on reservations, I've been told that they basically are buried now. They did put them up on pedestals a while back, I guess. And like basically some of them were cremated, some of them were just left there. I don't know any more than, I guess they just bury them now. But it's their burial grounds. Yeah, if we find an arrowhead, we thank them and send them. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to ask that question to them again, because I know the few that have died here recently from friends that are living on reservations. My understanding is they just bury them now, kind of like we do. So I'll have to check into that, because I really haven't on there.
Right. Wow.
That's one of my favorite songs, Indian Outlaw.
Yes.
I have another piece over here. This came from a house we had cleaned out when I was back cleaning. I'm not real sure of the background on this. They were going to throw this in the trash. I actually pulled it out of the trash. It's St. Mark French and English Army Navy edition. It was just
a Bible?
It's like a book. I'm not sure. I can't read it. And I can't even read the man's name in the front because it's so worn. It was in pencil. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, barely. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like there was such. I mean, I know the guy was in the Navy. It does have it in English, the original Greek I don't know what this is for, but it's from 1918. I know it's from the Bible, but I don't know if it's just part of it or what. But I've
Wow.
held on to this book. Gosh, this one I've had since I was about 19. So I've kept it pretty well preserved. There was, I know the guy was in the Navy. That's all I know. But there was like some weird pattern on the back, and we don't know what that's from. It's not mold. I don't think it's bleach, but it is a cloth cover.
Wow.
So we've held on to this one, and we've kept this one. Just like I took it out of the trash. I don't know why anybody would throw this stuff in the trash. I'm assuming it is part of the Bible. I'm not sure. But like I said, I've kept this. I've found so many things over the years that people, I don't know. To me, I'm not into organized religion, but if it is part of the Bible, I don't believe in disposing of them like that.
Right.
Pass them on.
Right. Exactly.
So I've had that one. I can't say I've ever gotten an actual reading off of that one, but there was just something about it. I couldn't just let it go.
Yeah.
I had to bring that home.
Now,
So,
somebody up here was just saying to go to a prison cemetery. Have you ever been through done a reading in a prison cemetery?
Yes, that was really kind of intense.
Oh, tell us, spill the tea.
Okay. I was, okay, let me think. I was 20 at the time, so it's been like 23 years. That was one of the first times I've ever gone into any kind of prison cemetery. And I remember we were in Pennsylvania, and I just remember when we walked back through the woods and you went through the gates, to the right was the psychiatric building, and it was like crumbled and falling in. And then you had to walk back past the jail part to the actual cemetery. And that was the first time I'd actually gone with a group of people that was like a little older than me, and actually actually was into this more than I did. And that's where that Ouija board part came in. They wanted to use a Ouija board, and I was not I did not want any part of that. And they had, and I just remember that they had tried using it in there, and they were getting all sorts of activity. And I had actually gotten grab, I don't know how to explain it, just like a grab, like somebody had grabbed my arm and squeezed it.
No.
And and I just looked, and my friend goes, "What's wrong?"
I would have shit my pants. I'm here to tell you.
Well, that was when I realized I really wasn't too scared of a lot of things. But I just kind of looked, and my friend was like, "What's going on?" And we looked, and they had shined their flashlight on my arm, and I had like a couple of fingerprints on my arm, like you could see where it was squeezed. And
oh my God.
My friends that were more into this than I was at that time were like, "Okay, it's time to go." And I was just like, "No, let's stick around, see what else happens." We ended up leaving.
There's no doubt in my mind I would have pissed my britches right there.
It takes a lot. I do not get scared easily. It takes a lot.
Oh my God.
When I had this, we went out to Athens to that the monkey cages. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
Okay, well, they have this place in Athens, the monkey cages, and we had found the old house. We never found the monkey cages. And I'm frustrated over this. I am jealous of my son. We went to the old well, and he was on one side taking pictures with his camera, and I'm on the other taking pictures with my camera. And he would click, then I would click. So it was like alternating. When we found out later, He was the first one. I have never got it. He got ectoplasm in his picture. I had nothing, and we were snapping back and forth, and it was coming out of the well.
Now, explain what ectoplasm is.
It's like, I'm trying to find the words. It's basically like, okay, like an ooze almost, but it's energy, but it's long, and it looks like a massive, I don't know, like it's just this gray mass. I can't explain it. I'll send you that picture so you can maybe post or something.
Oh my God.
But we had gone after that. We didn't know about it at that point. We had gone up to the house, and the lady I was with had brought her daughter, and it was broad daylight. So we were just kind of checking so we could come back later and do an investigation. And we got to the door, and I'm always in flip-flops or barefooted.
Right.
We get to the door, and I told Boo, my son, I said, stop so I can get your picture at the door. And I start snapping pictures.
Oh, God.
And you hear something like this voice, and the next thing I know, I'm still snapping pictures of Boo, and he's done past me. He left me.
I remember that story.
Yes.
Yes.
My friend and her daughter were going to get in my truck and leave, but I had the keys, and I had my flip-flops on, and I lost one, so I turned around to go back because I was going to go in, and they were trying to leave me. So yeah, we've had some experiences. That one was really neat though, because we have gone back, and another group has gone out there and got some pretty good things. I've never got to go back. They do require you to have police permission to go there. So
really,
I don't recommend anybody just go on their own.
Right.
Because they do have the small family cemetery there, and people desecrated the graves. So if people think, oh, let's go check the monkey cages out, don't go unless you get permission from the police.
I remember that story because I think I was living still down in Texas when that happened.
Yes, Boo was only 16 at the time, so that was one of the first times. So he doesn't run easily now.
No, she's down in Canton, Texas, Paranormal. She's lived down there for a while, but she's from, where are you from? You were from Arkansas?
Originally I'm from Florida, but I've lived all over this country. Virginia, Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, California.
Yeah. Hi, Deborah.
Everywhere.
Look at them, AJ and Captain. They're Kimberly says, I never believed it until I lived in a haunted house. Hello, Erin.
And I see a lot of people that say the same thing until they have experiences they truly don't believe. And then I've seen people that have the experiences and they try and not believe. A lot of people mistake any kind of paranormal activity as evil, and it's really not always evil. Sometimes it's just somebody trying to get a message across.
I love you, Captain. Erin, I'm glad you came in, buddy. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Well,
Gary, I actually lived in Missouri up in Raymondville near Rolla for a few years. So yeah, I have been up in Missouri and investigated quite a bit up there.
Wow.
And I will say some of the people too that like we've gone to houses to investigate. I've never had a bad investigation. Like I told you before, sometimes it can be electrical. I was trying to read what Tori was posting.
Ectoplasm down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole lot better explanation than I tried to give or definition. Honestly, I really truly do not believe that a lot of people think that when the spirit comes around or you have somebody some sort of spirit in your house, it's going to be bad. It's really not. I did Canton Marketplace a couple years ago. They had a few activity things going on up there. We got some pretty neat stuff in there. Still cannot find any information on the land because we believe it's land attached, not the building up there by First Monday. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, some of the stuff is, it's, some of the stuff, a lot of people, like I said before, they believe the paranormal has to do with witchcraft. I'm not a witch. I don't play with the evil part of it. I'm not breaking out Ouija boards or, any of that stuff. Because I actually get quite a bit of people here that as soon as they find out that we run our group, they kind of are, this is evil. It's not. Sometimes people on the other side just want to give you a message.
Right.
Or somebody that's been attached to the house just to let you know, hey, I'm here. And they're willing to live in peace because they're not willing to pass over.
Right. Captain wants to know your name. It's Lisa. Captain. Yeah. He has something he wants to ask you. And
okay.
Paranormal, I'll look. Yeah, I've subbed to you.
And let's see, I think she had just posted, a lot of times we are paranormal. A lot of time noises can be debunked. Not everything is paranormal. And that's what we honestly try to do. But a lot of people don't want to hear about how it's the electrical system that's putting off too much electric, or your AC vent is loose, or they want to believe it's paranormal. So some of the times we just tell them we can't find anything, give them some ideas to try, because you can't convince them it's anything other than paranormal. But we try to debunk everything before we do it. And I only really tell people, because that's all they want to hear a lot of the times when I try and talk to any of the people that don't actively go do it, but they want to know stories. So I tell them the stuff I've been through.
Captain says, Lisa, do you believe there are people who practice black magic that actually do have power to harm others?
Yes, I do. I do believe that. I have seen people that are, I do know people, I don't want to say they're friends, I'd say acquaintances, that practice dark, it's a religion, and if somebody makes them mad, they curse or put out bad vibes. I don't know how to put it. I have watched them basically curse people. I do, again, when they do that, they believe, and unless the person that's being cursed, I do believe a lot of that it can happen to them, only if they truly believe. But then again, you never know.
Captain says, I have lived through it. I have seen it. Take my warning, heed my warning.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people do it. So it's not a good, I don't actively try and be around anybody that's got anything negative or dark.
No, I've never seen around people that are negative.
No, I try not to, because when you're around that much negativity, and if they're into that kind of life, it comes to you. I believe what goes around comes around, karma. But yeah, I do believe it's totally possible.
There was another question up here. Let me go back.
I was trying to find that. It's going so quick. Do you believe that there are spirits that can harm people? Yes, I know there are spirits that will harm and can harm people.
Lady Lynn said, I lived in an old funeral home that was freaky. A lot of crap happened.
Yeah. When I was in my 20s, I almost bought one in, what was that town? I can't think. It was an old funeral home. And I wanted it so bad. We were approved. I loved it. Like, even in the basement, It was so much colder. I would have loved that house. I'd probably still be in Missouri if I could have had that.
Oh my God. That would scare me to death. Oh. So,
Oh,
Lady
just maybe.
Dan, yeah, you haven't seen Bentley in a while, have you?
No. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, I know it. He's a feisty little fart. Yep.
Still?
Oh yeah, he still is. Yeah. Lady Lynn, we need to get you on panel. You need to download the Google Hangouts, girl, so we can get you on here. Paranormal said we ran into a spirit at one place we did, and he was very dominant.
I've had a few investigations where when they are dominant or hostile, because I don't have a team that's equipped for that, I do pass to other teams that are better equipped. And I have gone in with them. I personally, I personally don't think that when you have homes that have bad spirits or very dominant, that just any basic team should go in. That I don't think that you should like play it safe. If you're ever on an investigation and you have bad feelings or nauseousness, lightheadedness, if you're getting scratched, hair pulled, pushed, it's probably best that you leave, because a lot of people don't they're not mentally or physically equipped to understand or go up against. So I would
But how many
basically
people would
say,
know that, Lisa? How many people would even think about anything like that? They would think, well, it's just coincidence.
yeah, some people don't. That's why whenever I do bring somebody new, I do have a questionnaire. If somebody says, hey, I want to go on an investigation with you, I do have like a little basics and questionnaire. I don't allow anybody who drinks or does drugs on any investigation. Linda, yes, I do have a spirit box, and my son is ordering me a new one for Christmas. Really truly don't think about it, and it's took many years for me to understand, because I've been doing this since I was 17, 18, 19. I mean, I've been doing this a lot of years, and everything I can get my hands on that's paranormal, I read. Advice from people who are older, more experienced. I don't think you can ever have enough experience. So to me, investigation and you're new to it or you're just not used to it, I say go with somebody. Don't just grab equipment and go, because you don't know what you're going into. So always
Captain,
go with somebody experienced.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, I would never go without somebody with experience. I'm telling you, I would crap my britches. Captain, why don't you some night get on here? You wouldn't have to show your face if you don't want to, but get on here and tell us your experience. It sounds like it was pretty spooky.
I would love to hear it.
I mean, I would love to get you on here and have you tell us about it. Huh. Art Bell says he's been warned about Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I do have 2 antique ones that were gave to me. They are sealed. They are, the portals were closed off of them. The only reason I hang on to them is because one day I do hope to have a paranormal museum for people to see this stuff. And it's not going to be just like spirits running galore or whatever, but
right.
I don't, they are very, very old. One is from the early 1900s and it's handmade, and the other one, I'm not sure about the timeline. I'm thinking 60s. Um,
Mm.
but I will not ever. I've had one experience that I actually used it and never again. Um, so I always tell people, and we are in a group where they were just discussing how Mattel has those Ouija boards for 8+. It's just my personal opinion. If any parent was to buy their child a Ouija board that's 8 years old, you've really got to reevaluate parenting skills, because that
Yeah.
is the most evil thing. They're not good. They're not a way to communicate with yeah, you're going to communicate with the dead, but it's not a good way.
They were just talking about that in the chat. How could people
Yeah,
sell that
I
stuff?
missed that.
Yeah, never go near those boards.
Wow.
No, 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 no.
I had actually, it was kind of funny because I had actually talked to my son about pulling one out just to show it because it's so old. But yeah, I didn't. It's secure. It's staying secure until the day I open a paranormal museum.
Frank,
and then it can be displayed.
Frank says have never seen any proof they exist. He must be talking about ghosts. Okay, and Paranormal says, I used one time, saw my cousin in the mirror on fire. He died 2 weeks before in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
Car exploded and he was trapped.
Wow.
Wow. Oof.
Yeah, I've heard so many stories similar to that. It's horrible. But I always tell people, even if you have it, don't use it. And I don't recommend just like leaving it out for a child, even a teenager. I'm sorry. I see kids think it's all fun and games. It's really, truly not a game.
Right.
Why do they make them? Honestly, I think they make those just so that they can bring evil into this world. I mean, there's just some things that shouldn't be made, but there's also people. There's this Charlie Charlie game where it's supposed to be kind of like a Ouija board Bloody Mary type deal, and I don't know, these kids nowadays, just it's glorified on TV, and they want to play all these little games, the Ouija board, the Charlie Charlie. They want to draw their own, get a sheet of paper and draw it. No, I never allowed my kids to do any of that stuff because I knew at a young age that stuff was bad. But even when they were teenagers and they went to a friend's house, if they wanted to play that stuff, my kids would call and come home. They didn't want any part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Now, a lot of people are asking me if you've got a channel on YouTube, and you don't as of yet, but she will be.
It's funny you say that. I've been trying for a while, and until you started. I just now figured it out the last couple of weeks. I'm not tech savvy.
I told you I would help you with that. Katie wants to know what got you into this.
Long story short on that, I used to not have friends growing up as a kid. My friends were basically wild animals. I really picked up a lot of snakes, lizards. Those were like reptiles basically, because I grew up in Florida. They were my friends, but I also used to, like, my grandparents and my mom told me it was just what do you call it, like your imaginative friends or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't until later on that I realized they weren't just my imagination, because I was too young when they'd tell me that, and they'd tell me to stop. And so I have seen it. So when I hit probably 10, 11 years old, and I started understanding a little better what a ghost was or what a spirit was, I was actually able to start going to the school library or to the local library and started reading then. And I started learning a lot. And I often get asked if I have gifts, and I admit I lie 90% of the times and tell people around here, no, I don't. Um, I do not, like, for me, I can't be around a lot of people. This is a whole lot easier where I can talk, where I have Katie on here and I can see her and I know her, so I feel like I'm talking to
Right.
her.
Right.
I am able to see auras in people. I do have a few other gifts that I have some very good friends working with me on helping me open up more, and I've been able to do a lot more things. I don't want to really go into it. I am an empath. So being around a lot of negative energy drags me down and can lay me up. Yes, Captain, I do believe in aliens and Bigfoot. I do believe that they are out there. We cannot be the only ones here.
Katie wants to know if you've ever been scared.
The only time I've been scared was when I was telling you last week, that house on the other side of Tyler. I had gone with another group. The grandmother had took the granddaughter into the living room. While the granddaughter wasn't in there, she had put a Bible under the pillow. The granddaughter didn't know she wasn't anywhere near that room, and when she went and laid down, within seconds she shot back up screaming, get it out, get it out, they want it out. And she pulled the Bible out and she kept screaming until the Bible was removed from that room. I do know after that investigation, they had the church come in. Excuse me. They did have the church in there. The father, when he was growing up in that house, had actually used a Ouija board and opened a portal and did not close it. So it was there. They did get it closed. And I do know that the little girl, she did have some rare genetic disease of some sort, and I'm not sure what it was, but I do know she is doing much better today.
Wow.
I don't know what happened during the church going in, but I do know the girl and the family is doing much better today.
I got to tell you what happened to me today. I was just reading the chat, and Captain said that he has many gifts. And I went into my oncologist today to get my blood work for my 5-year to see if I'm still cancer free. And as I was leaving my oncologist, I started getting a panic attack and an anxiety attack. And when I got into my car, I started hyperventilating real bad. And about that time, my phone rang. Now, Captain, I've talked to Captain one other time on the phone. No, twice, I guess. And he had called at that exact time. And he said, I don't know why I'm supposed to call you, but I'm calling you. And I told him, I said, I'm having an attack. Just talk to me. And I'll be damned. He had called at that exact time. He had no idea why he was going to call.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do believe sometimes people put out that energy where they need somebody, and maybe somebody connected, not even totally connected, can catch that and feel the urge.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I believe, we've all got that special something in there. Oh, yes. Thank you, Helen. Yeah, he was right on it. Let me see. I saw another question in here.
I thought I did. It goes so quick.
I know. Paranormal wants to know, we do, no, she says we do not choose our gifts. They choose us. That's true. Yes. Very true.
And I will say, growing up, a lot of the times, like my grandmother was Baptist on my mom's side. So like that stuff was considered evil. So I wasn't about to question my grandmother at all. My mom, my grandfather, nobody. I wouldn't have questioned it. It wasn't until I was on my own that I got the whole the whole idea of it wasn't my imagination, and I started opening to other things. So to me, I truly believe if somebody has a gift, instead of just blocking it or pretending it doesn't exist, they should maybe explore it if they're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Especially children, because children are so much more open-minded and see things, and a lot of people try and shut it down because they're more scared of what the child might be seeing, just because they can't.
Right. Yeah. Vintage Seeker says, I was with a friend and it flew right over us, and we just walked in the house and vowed never to talk about it. Yeah, it's hard to talk about
That's
that kind of
awesome.
stuff. Nobody would believe you, you know?
And that's sad. A lot of people want to shut you down on your experiences. And I love hearing the stories that people experience, UFOs. I've heard people talk about Bigfoot that they've come across. I think in Missouri, in the area I was in, I heard people talk about Momo, which is basically Bigfoot. But a lot of people just laugh about it. And I'm always wanting to hear it because it happened to somebody.
Yeah. And let me see. Katie again wants to know
Yes.
if you know about time travel, if you believe in it.
I believe it is totally possible. I don't know if it's actually happened yet. I see people posting videos, and a lot of them I can debunk pretty quick if you watch them. There is a picture from, I want to say it was from when JFK was killed, of a lady. And I'm kind of fascinated with it because she wasn't in that time era, like the clothing. So I do believe it's possible, but I'd also love to see actual proof. Science is too, and I do believe it's a scientific thing. There's so many smart people that just really, I think, could get into it. So yeah, I think it is totally possible. I mean, we've got flying cars, so I mean, why can't time travel be possible?
That's true. Now,
Oh, and I just saw.
What is this dog man? Mary says, do you believe that people are seeing dog man now? What is dog man?
I'm not sure. Is that supposed to be like Sasquatch or half dog, half man?
I don't know, but
I don't think I've heard that one.
if I keep drinking these vodka tonics, I wonder if I'd see him.
If you do, get a picture for me.
No shit. Right? Oh my God. Hey, I want everybody to make sure that they subscribe to everybody in here. And remember, tomorrow night, MFW's got some scoop coming down. So make sure you sub to her if you're not already. And check her out tomorrow night. She's got a hell of a program going on, folks.
Awesome.
And yeah, she's awesome. And so tell the story, Uber Goober. About what, honey? Is Bentley behind me? No, I think he's laying down. Okay, Kenny's
werewolf type. Okay.
Okay. I did. Where were you, Captain? I told him the whole story that I was having a panic and anxiety attack and hyperventilating. When I got in the car, you called me. Where were you at when I was just telling you that story? And don't tell me you were in the bathroom draining your lizard. You probably weren't hearing me at all. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Katie's serious, she said. That's a serious topic.
Okay. Debbie said the day my son died, I knew before I got the call and I knew what he had on. I always find it, I don't know if it's so much, it's not paranormal. I'm not sure what it is, where a parent can feel when their child is in trouble if they're gone. My mom, at one point, I had gotten into some serious trouble, and I honestly thought my last words were going to be me yelling for my mother, and she heard me. I was in Virginia, she was in Missouri, she called me repeatedly. So there's some sort of connection, I truly believe, between a mother and a child that I don't know why they're able to lift a car off of their child. I mean, it's an amazing thing. I don't know if it's paranormal or if it's spiritual. I don't know what it is, but it's an amazing thing. And sometimes it is very hurtful knowing things.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, it's pretty scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. I just saw somebody saying they had that feeling with their pets. My mom had renters next door, and they left their dog, and he's an old man. He's actually laying down under the desk behind me. He's an old man, and it's really funny because ever since these people moved in, I've had an attachment to that dog that's not, he's not been mine up until these people were evicted. He's just an old man, and we've got some weird attachment. He goes everywhere with me. He's finishing up a round of antibiotics, and he has to have one eye removed because when they had the dog, he went missing for 3 days and something happened to his eye. So when I got him, it was all big. They had told me they took him to the vet and they said it was fine. Well, it ruptured and he's on antibiotics. They can't do any surgery to remove it until the infection is gone. Apparently he had that infection and they had lied about it. But that connection to that dog, he's just, here, I'll see if you can see him. He's down there. I don't know if you can see him.
Oh, it's a little bit dark.
Yeah, he's all black, but he's got this big head under my desk. And I've got that weird attachment to him. He's like one of my, I can't explain that attachment because I have it with my dog Shanoa and Brownie, but with him, it's getting there.
Well, everybody, I am going to call it a night. It has been a long, long day for me, and I am pooped. But remember,
well, you get rest.
I'm going to every Friday night. We're going to continue doing this unless something big is going on. But I love you all. Remember,
love you.
I love you too, Lisa. Tomorrow night, Miss Fucking Wonderful has got, we're taking you serious, Katie. Yes, ma'am. And
you're welcome, Captain.
I don't know if you know Miss Fucking Wonderful. You need to go check out her channel.
I will do that.
She's hilarious. She says it the way it is. She tells you where the bear shit's in the woods. Oh yeah, you would like Katie.
I am heading to her.
Yeah, make sure you sub her. She's hilarious. She's got a good program, and she's going to be on tomorrow night. And that's with everybody else in here.
Awesome.
Sub them, and you're welcome, everybody. And it'll be again, same as always. Next week, we're going to try getting Paranormal in here. We are Paranormal. We'll get them on here. And
awesome.
We'll get Lisa back. She's got some more stuff to tell us and show us.
Oh, I've always got stuff.
And okay. Well, I love you too, baby girl. Tell the family.
Y'all have a good night.
Me, will you please?
I will.
Butch a big hug for me.
I will.
Okay. Love you.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.